number of years ago, I published a video here about the Mock-Wa-Mosa, also known as the Bearwalker. The video was based on an interview I had in the late 1980s with Chief John O'Gonigan of the Mankato, Michigan settlement. Recently, a viewer here on YouTube, Iris, and I don't want to mispronounce her name, but it's spelled W-I-G-L-E, Wigle, wrote a series of very interesting comments to me about the Bearwalker. I think you'll enjoy her observations. So this following was related to me by Iris. I quote, "There may be a difference between the Bearwalker and a Skinwalker. I'm not sure. It is said that a Skinwalker has the power to feel the prey. There may be a door between them or a bridge, but the Bearwalker knows what type of a person or animal is waiting to pounce. Imagine a cloud, a spirit, ascending upon the Bearwalker. The Bearwalker can feel every movement that is going on behind the door. It may be that two spirits have become one, or the spirit of the Bearwalker descended upon the evil ones and came back to report how many. A club or gun, flamethrower or pitchfork, man or woman, right? See, the Skinwalker sits inside a person, and the Bearwalker can actually mimic each movement at the same time, whether the person is combing their hair or lighting a cigarette. The movements of hunter and prey will be the same. Bible prophecy tells us that in the future there will be 144,000 humans of every tribe upon the earth to rule, to judge, and to be put to death. Will they all be Bearwalkers or Skinwalkers, I wonder? Jesus knew the Bible tells us exactly what the hunters were doing and thinking, and he escaped many times. Some will argue that the Holy Spirit of God is a powerful force, and that maybe a human may conclude that it is a Skinwalker spirit that has come to the aid of the prey, and that the hunted will step back from the door because the Holy Spirit is repelled by evilness. Possibly two different types of Skinwalkers, little Skinwalkers and big Skinwalkers. The Holy Spirit can also use the synapses of an animal. We see this with the plagues upon Egypt. We see these when Elijah was thrown into the lion's den and the lions kept him warm, but the hunters they instantly killed. The Holy Spirit can motivate in the millions, whereas the earthly Skinwalker can do only one thing at a time. God took away the rebellious angels' ability to change into humans, but he did allow ranking angels to continue in power to some extent for him to use at will. A Bearwalker turning from human to animal would have to be a very high-ranking angel, and the power to do so had been approved by God to my way of thinking. Perhaps it was not just a man that was being hunted or on the Pine Ridge Reserve. End quote. I need to point out something here. I want to stop here for a moment. Iris tying in the Bearwalker and Skinwalker into the biblical framework is something that I had never considered and is fascinating to say the least. Now, Iris also made mention of the Pine Ridge Reserve, and I feel as though I should give you some background which is significant to the discussion here. According to Wikipedia, the Pine Ridge Reservation is an Oglala Lakota Native American Indian reservation located in South Dakota. Pine Ridge was established in 1889. Now, some of what I'm about to relate to you may seem off base, but I feel it's important here to understand the site's tragic history. A mesa in what is today the Oglala-administered portion of the Badlands National Park. It was there that the last of the ghost dances took place. The U.S. authorities' attempt to repress this movement eventually led to the true horror that we know as the Wounded Knee Massacre, where the young, the elderly, the women, children, men were all mercilessly murdered on December 29, 1890. Violence and death again visited Pine Ridge. I won't go into great detail here, but I'm considering doing a video on these events in the future. Suffice it to say that during this period, that is to say early to mid-1970s, there was violence, and on June 26, 1975, the reservation was the site of an armed conflict between AIM activists and the FBI and their allies, which became known as the Pine Ridge Shootout. 2 FBI agents and 1 AIM activist were killed. So at this point, I will return to what Iris had to say in her communication, and again I quote, "I was in and out of Pine Ridge to give support, and the police may have had questions on said fake shooting or death, but then again, my mother worked at the Windsor police station. Visiting a reserve, being assaulted may bring out a Bearwalker, and the spirits that patrol on an area like that it's rather iffy." As a child, my grandfather told me that we lived in Bear Valley. I thought he meant bear, but he may also have meant Mohawk. It used to be an Aboriginal long ago. When the English and French were fighting, the English painted the bridge across the North River. They painted it red so that the reverse was split, and the English part, the Aboriginal, called it Red Bridge, and the French called it Balsam Creek, and I lived in Bear Valley. Once these non-Aboriginal men were chasing me, and I just kept running into the woods, and I saw a bear, and I laid behind it. The bear saw the men and started chasing them. We had potato fields, and the bears would come. I was told not to feed the bears and heard stories of children being carted off by them. And my grandfather even made me skin a bear, and we ate it for many months. It was horrendous. I even smelt like a bear because he would rub bear grease on me with menthol, etc., to keep flies away. To me, bear walking is walking next to the bear when it is the hunter or when it is the protector. And I think it was the protector. Alberta, that wanted to fine me for killing 1,000 grizzlies. I may have killed 2 or 4, but the Aboriginals killed the rest. I was scared about something once, and I went camping in my car in the woods, and when the bears came out and rubbed against the car, I felt safe. What do you do when seeing a bear walker? Walk backwards respectfully and keep walking and praying. It seems that spirits do not want to go far from the bones. I'm not sure whose bones. Perhaps it was them at one time, and the flood of the Bible took away their forms when the angels married humans and produced half-breeds. I sometimes wonder if the really dangerous and evil-seeming spirits have imbalanced brains, or maybe they were just fearful and want you to go away. They say that sometimes they will live in a thing, like a stone, or whatever, and you took it home with you by stealing it. Best return it. Bears, like cats and dogs, are territorial, meaning they walk the land, thus protector of small animals. A bear with rabies or health problems will be viciously, especially when hungry. People think that the female is the only of the bear that attacks, but when you are near their young, that is. But they will attack strangers much like a dog does. I have a healthy fear of bears, but I don't view them as my enemy. I don't view a spirit bear walker as my enemy. It is usually the heart that responds first to an unseen force. You just know that you are invading an area that does not belong to one. Once I visited my mom and my sister, and I slept in the living room. We saw the face of a devil on the wall. I said, "It is just the plants," and my mother had 3 layers of shears on the windows. When I went to put my hand in front of the shadow, all 3 of the plants fell down. I jumped into bed and covered our heads, and I left the next morning, but the police came to ask questions about me, something about me, and I was gone. So was it an angel wanting me to move on? It is very questionable. End quote. Some of this may sound a little confusing to you who don't know about bear walkers and skinwalkers, but I think that Iris provided a unique insight into a culture that the white European mind does not understand. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope at some point there will be more conversation between myself and Iris, and perhaps updates to this video at some point. If you've not done so, be sure you check out my video on the Bearwalker. I'll put a link to it in the description below, as well as my video on the disappearing Indian elders. And, yeah, there's another one, but I can't think of it right now. Anyways, if it comes to me, I'll put it there. Hope you've enjoyed. God bless, and have a great day.